Hey DJ, it's Trevor Gross from CUTigers.com. Do you feel like the game's kind of slowed down for you a little bit in the second half on Saturday, or do you feel like it had already slowed down for you just in going up against your own defense week in and week out?
I think our defense, going against our defense, helps out. It definitely does help out a lot. Coach Venables and all the defensive players, we have a really great defense, probably the best defense in the country. But I felt like it did slow down in the second half. I think as the game progressed, I mean, as you just play, as you play, you get more comfortable just playing the game. So as I kept playing, taking more snaps, we just kept getting a little bit more comfortable each and every play.
Hey DJ, it's Josh from the Post and Courier. Have you gotten a chance to speak to Trevor since the game Saturday?
Yeah, we was just in meetings with him right now. We had virtual meetings, and he was in a virtual meeting right now. Just we had like player-led meetings right now. So he was on the Zoom call with us, and he was leading right now.
Did he have any feedback on your performance or advice for Notre Dame?
For probably his advice, he said just just know every single coverage, just know what they have to do. Notre Dame's a really good defense, so just make sure you lock in on the keys that we have going into and just lock in on the game plan.
DJ, this is Dennis Dodd from CBS Sports. I know you called Clemson when you were a sophomore, I think, in high school. Did Notre Dame ever recruit you?
What, sir?
Oh, did Notre Dame ever recruit you?
I think just for a little bit, but I mean, not really. I never got offered by them, but I think they like sent letters and stuff to my coaches and stuff. But I don't think they really recruited me.
Would you have had, or did you have any interest?
Maybe if they recruited me. I mean, Notre Dame's a great program. They have their own movie, Rudy, about them. So I mean, it's a really cool program. Historical program. It could have been in the conversation. I'm not sure. We had to take a visit there, but I mean, Notre Dame is a huge program. Yes, sir.
Great, thank you.
DJ, it's Pete at AP. You said Saturday that this was just going to be another game where you prepared and do what you have to do in order to get ready for it. Does it feel any bigger a couple of days later?
I mean, I think the only reason why it feels bigger because it's just the next game. I mean, Coach Swinney likes to say our biggest game is the next game. So I think that's the only reason why it's probably our biggest game of the year because it's the next game.
DJ, this is Grace Rayner with The Athletic. I'm sure you saw the videos of people kind of having some fun trying to figure out how to pronounce your last name. I was just wondering, can you kind of tell us a little bit about your family roots and where Uiagalelei comes from?
Well, that's my dad's last name. That's my dad's family. My dad's family are Samoan, so that's where it comes from. And then so that's where my last name comes. But I'm half Samoan and I'm a quarter black, quarter German. My mom's half black, half German, so I have a little bit of everything.
What's, I guess, I know Clemson put out a video of your teammates trying to pronounce it when you first got on campus. What's the funniest butchering of your last name you've heard?
I heard a lot, probably. But for me, I think like Uiagalelei. I heard Uiagalelei one time. I forgot who said something like that, but I heard like Uiagalelei. I was like, I never heard that type of pronunciation. I heard different pronunciations my whole life. I think that was one that was pretty funny. That stood out to me.
Thank you.
Hey DJ, it's Mike Tirico from NBC. Great to visit with you. Look forward to watching you on Saturday. Can you just talk a little bit more about your mom and dad and the sacrifices that they made to help you with your athletic career and the impact that they've had on getting you to where you are right now?
I mean, definitely. I mean, my mom and dad have played a huge role. I mean, probably the biggest role in my life. I mean, just the countless sacrifices they've made just to take me to different practices. When I was a kid, I remember taking me to like baseball practice, taking me like an hour there, hour back. To school, I remember waking me up for school and then going to high school. And they didn't take me to high school, but I rode with a coach named Coach Diaz. They made the sacrifice that it took me an hour and a half to get to school every day and then take an hour and a half to get back. But just different stuff. I know it was hard for them, like paying for different training stuff, paying for like travel ball, football, and stuff like that. Some days, it wouldn't be a lot to eat sometimes, but they always make it work because they always want me and my brother to just be able to pursue our athletic career and just whatever they want. They always want to be there for us, and they would make sacrifices that that they would do for us that I know a lot of people want to do.
You know, I don't know if you heard how much Dad was on TV during the game on Saturday. Dad's been around stars. Did you have to kind of get him straightened out? Was his phone blowing up after the game Saturday?
I mean, probably. I know. He's a talkative guy. He likes the media. I know he likes the spotlight, but I know his phone was definitely blowing up.
Is that your personality? Do you like the media and the spotlight, or are you more like your mom?
I'm more like my mom. I'd rather be low key, rather no one really know about me. Probably rather just chill at the crib and just play some video games.
That when you last question for me, when you had to make that, you still don't have to make a full choice, but what called you in terms of football compared to what called you in baseball and your love for baseball?
I mean, I felt like baseball was my first love growing up. I remember like at a time, like probably like 6th or 7th grade, I didn't want to play football no more. I don't know, I told my mom, I think it was one of my 12th birthday, I was playing travel ball. I read like a book from Mariano Rivera, the pitcher from the closer from the New York Yankees. And he was saying like he like dropped out of school when he was like 12, like to work and stuff like that and then play baseball. But I was like, he's from the Dominican Republic, so I'm like, shoot, I want to drop out of school and just pursue baseball. I want to get drafted like at 15, 16. So I told my mom when I turned 12, like just to ship me off to the Dominican Republic so I could just focus on baseball and not have to go to school anymore. I remember that was one point, but I think I like football a lot more. I think like growing up and getting into high school, football became a lot funner than it was playing youth football. Like the excitement, the people at the game, the fans, the adrenaline rush. For me, baseball just kind of got a little bit. It wasn't as fun as football was becoming. I think that's why I ultimately chose football.
Appreciate your time. Good luck. Look forward to watching you Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
DJ, you talked about your the Samoan half of your heritage. Did you ever look up to Marcus Mariota? Are you friendly with Tagovailoas? Do you have a common bond there as a Polynesian quarterback?
Definitely. I mean, I look up to all the Polynesian quarterbacks that are coming before me. I mean, there's been countless quarterbacks. I know Marcus Mariota is a huge one. I remember watching him at Oregon. I think my favorite quarterback is Jeremiah Masoli. He was the quarterback at Oregon that came before him, but that was my favorite quarterback growing up, probably ever. But I mean, there's been countless quarterbacks. You have Throwin Samoan, you have all types of people. You have Marcus Tuiasosopo, Tua right now. I mean, Tua's younger brother Talia. I mean, there's a lot of Polynesian quarterbacks. George Maluma. There's been countless quarterbacks that I've looked up to.
Do you feel some pride in bringing attention to Polynesian quarterbacks?
Definitely. I mean, I think there's not a lot of Polynesian quarterbacks in the South. I think being a Polynesian quarterback here at Clemson, I think it's probably like one of the first Polynesians that ever come to Clemson to come to the South, besides Tua. So I mean, definitely, I think it's a big thing. Just to show like us Polynesians, you don't have to play in the Pac-12 or play different places. I know when Tua, as a Polynesian quarterback, went to the SEC, that was a huge thing playing at Bama. And then for me coming out to Clemson, I think it just shows like all the Polynesians out there that you can play wherever you want if you have the talent to.
Hey, DJ, David Hale with ESPN. You mentioned your dad loving the media and you not so much. I heard that you had to mute him on Twitter because you were tired of seeing all the good stuff he was posting about you. Is that true? And what's that relationship like, just in terms of how much he's rooting for you and you kind of being like, all right, let's turn it down a little bit.
I mean, yeah, I think he's still blocked on my Twitter. I think I've had him blocked since probably like my sophomore year in high school. I just don't like seeing the stuff. It's stuff he posts. He posts a lot. I don't know. It's been like that my whole life. But no, I think he's still blocked on my Twitter. I don't know. I just don't like seeing some of the stuff, like this stuff. But I know he's just a happy dad, but I just don't like seeing it personally. I think sometimes it can be over the top.
Yeah, well, that's what dads are supposed to do. You mentioned on Saturday getting a text from Reggie Bush. Can you talk a little bit about what Reggie meant to you in terms of being like a boyhood idol? I know you wear 5, and as he did at USC. Is that what did he do to impact you in terms of football?
I mean, that was my favorite player growing up. But I think just the way he just played the game, I just loved him. I mean, I grew up a USC fan. He was the biggest thing coming out of USC, Reggie Bush. I mean, I always wanted to be like Reggie Bush, even though I'd never be like him because I can't run the ball like he is. But I mean, that's always grew up just a Reggie Bush fan. I always just always wanted to be like him.
So what
So
did his
it was super cool. So yeah, getting a text from him, that was amazing. I mean, he like DM'd me and he asked me if I was ready for the game and stuff like that. I'm like, shoot, I mean, I gotta be ready. Reggie told me if I'm ready, so Reggie thinks I'm like, I gotta be ready. That Reggie Bush asked me the question, so I think this is super cool that he DM'd me before the game.
I imagine you don't get starstruck too easy, given how your recruiting has been, and your dad, of course, having been around celebrities a lot in his life. Was it a sort of a starstruck moment, though, getting to hear from a guy that you kind of grew up idolizing?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, I definitely. It was super cool. I mean, there's a lot of people that like Mark. I think Jeremiah Masoli, he reached out to me before the game, texted me and stuff like that. But there was a lot of people that reached out to me. I was like, damn, it's super cool. Yeah, I was like, that was pretty surprised.
Hey,
Hey,
DJ,
DJ.
Clemson 24/7. What have you noticed on film so far from Notre Dame, and particularly their secondary, and Kyle Hamilton, the safety?
Are you talking about the safety?
Yeah.
I mean, the safety's really good. They have a really good defense. The secondary, there are a lot of veterans out there in the secondary. Super athletic, super long. I think there's a really good team overall, and the secondary is a big part of it.
I peeked at the forecast on Saturday night. I don't think it's supposed to be too cold. Have you looked at it? And what's the coldest weather that you've played in?
I think the coldest weather I played in is probably like mid-30s. I think that was the coldest I played, like maybe like 32. But I don't think it's gonna be that cold. I think someone said the low was supposed to be like 50, and the high was like 65. I think that's what's the weather. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure about it though.
Hey, DJ, it's Trevor again. You and your roommate, Bryan Bresee, had a couple of nice celebratory moments on Saturday after you scored your rushing touchdown, and then again at the end of the game after his forced safety. Just what has it been like for the two of you, just fellow freshmen and roommates, having such a big role on this team this early?
I mean, it's been pretty cool. I mean, just to see, like, especially out there when Brian makes a sack, I get super turned up. It makes me excited to go out there and see it because I know how hard he works. And then just being roommates, we talk about a lot of that stuff. So I mean, it's just super cool to like see my roommate go out there and just ball out, get in the game, win, strip, fumble, sack, get into safety. I mean, it's just super cool to see him win.
Hey, DJ, this is Todd in Spartanburg. How important was it the way Dabo told you were going to start on Saturday? Seems like he really pumped you up and even said this could be a good thing for the team in the long run.
I mean, definitely. I mean, when your head coach is confident in you to go out there in the game, that he has a lot of confidence in you. I mean, it just gives you a lot of confidence to go out there. Because if your head coach believes in you, then you're definitely. I mean, that's a lot. That means a lot to me. So I was definitely ready. I mean, it was just big for him to tell me that. So yes, sir, it meant a lot.
Is it okay if we call you the Throwin Samoan?
Yeah, you guys can call me whatever you want. That's fine with me. It doesn't matter. Yes, sir.
DJ,
Hey,
you
DJ.
As a top recruit, a lot of those guys are not super eager to show up on a campus where there's another guy like Trevor Lawrence. What about your personality and your approach to the game made that something that did not intimidate you, or maybe in fact drew you to Clemson?
I mean, for me, I wasn't looking at whoever the starting quarterback was or whatever the depth chart looked like. I was looking at a college that was going to help me grow as a person, also on the football field. And Clemson's had a great track record with quarterbacks, with Deshaun, with Trevor, and everything drew me to Clemson. I knew Trevor was going to be the starter, but I mean, I'm a guy that likes to compete, so I just wanted to come in and compete, whatever my role was going to be in the team. If that was starting, last string, it didn't really matter to me. I just wanted to come in and compete.
Hey, DJ, I know that this game has probably been circled on the calendar for most of Clemson this year, given that it's probably the highest stake regular season game that you have. But, as you're looking to prepare for that, how much are you talking to Trevor or anyone else on the team about handling kind of these big pressure moments and, big time games?
I mean, definitely talk to Coach Streeter, talk to different coaches about how they want me to handle it, and talk to Trevor. I mean, they're gonna just treat it like a normal game. I mean, it's our next game. That's the biggest game of the year is our next game. So there's nothing that has to be too big, but just to treat it like a normal game. Just go out there like it's a regular Saturday.
All right, we have time for one more question.
I was curious, you talked a little bit about the big Cinco necklace that you have. Can can you tell the full story of where the nickname came from? And do you wear anything else that has any sort of meaning to you, bracelets or chains or anything like that?
Probably the big Cinco. I think it started off in maybe high school. I think someone, like some of the players, they called me like Cinco, or like the 5. And then I think someone called me just Big Cinco. I just heard the name. I'm like, oh, I like that. It's pretty cool. It's like a different thing. So I mean, I just started like putting a hashtag on like some of my Instagram posts, like Big Cinco, and then eventually I got it made into a chain. I got a pendant, and then I put it on the chain. But I thought it's pretty. I like wearing chains. Like some of these, like this is the cross chain I have, like with a diamond pendant. It's like my number 5 right here, the 5 chain right here, and then right here, this is the letter T. It's for my mom. So for Tasha, her name is Tasha. So I wear a T chain. But then I like wearing wristbands. Like a lot of these wristbands I have on my wrist, they're different Bible verses that my little cousin Malia, she gave to me for my birthday last year, because she knows I wear bracelets. Like this one is Jeremiah 33:3. It says, "Call to me, and I will answer to you, and show you great and mighty things." And then all these are just different Bible verses that I just look down at and read. Like Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Another one is Ephesians 6:10, be strong in the Lord and his mighty power. And then my last one is Romans 12:2. Do not be conformed to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may prove what is good and pleasing and perfect will of God. So this is different things that I like to look at. Just remind me of like different stuff. I mean, that would have a lot of meaning to me.